welcome to the channel. Today we will be discussing what are the requirements in an agile story. So, agile story, we've been having a few series in our video recently on like features and who the user is, end user is, and today we'll discuss more about the requirements. So let's learn about them. Requirements are specific constraints or conditions that must be met for the required or desired functionality, to be implemented. So let's continue. Requirements are often seen, in the form of like an acceptance criteria. So like, when we get into like I've been discussing about user acceptance testing. That's where the requirements, you know, are like kind of accepted, when you go through the whole development QA life cycle. So before a story gets marked as done in something we have discussed in the past, there is a business user or somebody else who will come in and do user acceptance testing, and they will pass or mark the story, as pretty much being done at that point. So that's what, requirements are written in that specific format where we define an acceptance criteria. So what are they? So basically, there are a set of specific conditions that must be satisfied, for the user story to be considered complete. So, like I said, that's where we do a UAT, and the user, the end user, whoever that might be, would say, okay, this story has met the criteria for it to be accepted, and at that point, we'll mark the story as done. So let's get in further as an example. So as a customer, I want to be able to search for products by keywords, right? So that I can easily find what I'm looking for. Now, what would the requirements for that look like? Number one, the search feature must allow the user to enter a keyword and retrieve a list of matching products. So whether you're having a form or some other way to input the data, the user must be allowed to do that. Like, say, I want to search for toys, right? So everything that is like a toy should be in a drop down or some other format it should be retrieved. The search results must be displayed in a clear and organized way, right? So again, like I said, maybe in a drop down or some other fashion, it must be fast and responsive with results appearing in real time as a user type. So let me give you an example here. Now, say you are a customer that has a subscription with Netflix, right? And you regularly pay for the subscription with your credit card, and you have, now they have that challenge of whether that person is part of your household or not. Otherwise, they'll do consider it like a password sharing or stuff like that. So you might want to make a search and say, hey, show me the search history of all my family members, right, who are logging in and what, regarding my subscription. Now, that should be fast, that response, right? It cannot take 2 minutes, 5 minutes to respond back, that kind of result. It should be almost available quickly. But remember, Netflix has hundreds of millions of subscribers, and uh, everyone's family members, will be logging in multiple times a day. So you're talking billions of searches, and then from there they have to return back data for you and your family. So, but it still has to be fast. So that's why that is a key requirement for this search request. These requirements provide specific details about how the search feature should behave and what it should do, right? They should help ensure that the feature is implemented correctly and meets the needs of the end user. So that search must actually do what the user was expecting it to do, right? It should not be like, let's go back to the toys example, right? When you're looking for toys, uh, it must be specific to and relevant to the context, somewhat to the user's search, right? It cannot start finding toy manufacturers or stuff like that, which is not completely relevant. So you can imagine that the toys, if a parent is searching, he or she is looking for some toys for their children. So it's important to understand what feature is being implemented and meets the needs of the end user. So requirements we have to acknowledge are different than the features. So like I said, now going back to the example of, where I was saying where the user is trying to search for their login, payment, subscription information, right? Now that is a requirement. Sorry, that is a feature, right? That search. But the requirement for that would be, hey, it should come back quickly. There should be some performance, you know, tied into that, feature, right? It cannot be running forever. So, this user story must have these requirements, which end up being more than just the features that the user is looking for. So that's why it's important to understand that and basically come up with a proper requirement and feature set which satisfies the needs of the user. And that's why it's kind of critical to focus so much on this piece of the user story. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to chat with us on the channel itself, or always email us. Our email is available in the description of this video. And do like and subscribe our video and our channel. That keeps us going. Thank you again for your time. Thank you.